NewsNation meteorologist Gerard Bailey is in Mayfield, Kentucky, and Gerard's search and rescue crews are digging through the rubble, hoping to find any survivors. What can you tell us so far?
It's been a tough day, tough night. I mean, the last 24 hours couldn't be any worse than what you look around here. It literally just looks like a wrecking ball came through here and destroyed everything around me. And it hits every part of the community. It hits residents, it hits business owners, it hits people who were trying to help those last night. We're standing here on a slab. Behind me is what was one of their fire stations. All this debris you see over there is what is left of the building. You even have one of their vehicles. This is almost a brand new vehicle to them. It was given to them only about a month ago, I think, and just days ago it was put into service after they put a lot of hard work into that truck. And the firefighters who were here earlier trying to pick through some of the rubble, trying to find some things, said to me that it's just gut-wrenching. They couldn't help their own town. And we know that when that sort of thing happens and their own community members can't help themselves, other people come from outside the community to help. There were some gentlemen who came in as Good Samaritans, and they were here just before the sun set to try to help out.
I don't think I've ever seen this kind of thing. Trees are down, buildings are down, cars are flipped.
We all kind of gave each other calls like, hey, you want to come down and see what we can do? It's like, all right, let's head out.
So those gentlemen were here doing their best to try to offer whatever help that they could. But as you know, this is a daunting task with a tornado of this magnitude and of this size and scale. I've been a storm chaser for almost 25 years. I've seen nearly 100 tornadoes. Some of them I couldn't even count. Were they tornadoes? They were at the dark of night, just like this one. This one is obviously a massive tornado to cause a lot of damage. Many indicators can kind of show that here. The tower, the water tower behind me, a huge structure collapsed to the ground as if it were just something made out of matchsticks. And speaking of matchsticks, look at these trees behind me. They kind of resemble that now. There's not much left of them. Much of the bark on some of these has been removed. It takes some very powerful winds to debark trees, but at the very least you can see that many of these were snapped as if they were just kindling. Many of the debris around me, sizable things, can be thrown from very far distances, and pieces of metal like this water tower behind me, thick metal, can just be twisted and mangled as if it were just made of foil. Pretty amazing stuff, but in the number of years that I've been storm chasing, this is still a very, very impactful one, because we know that it hit directly in the middle of the night in a very dangerous time, because we're still in the middle of December, where a lot of people may not be thinking about severe weather. That usually is the months of March, April, and May. They may have been caught off guard despite all the warnings ahead of time. Thankfully, there were a lot of warnings to go out, but unfortunately, all the warning in the world is not enough when a community gets hit directly like this. I've never seen a situation, no matter how much warning there is, where when you have a major tornado like this go through a big town like this, that there's not major loss of life. And unfortunately tonight, that's what we're hearing. We could see fatality numbers approaching the 100s, according to the Kentucky governor. So a lot to go through tonight, Rutabaga, and it's going to be several years before this town is even seeing a remote existence of life back to normal again.
Yeah, entire communities and neighborhoods just wiped off the map. The president spoke today. He talked about the warnings, Gerard. He said we need to find out what kind of warnings there were. Were they strong enough, and did people heed them? And he compared these images and these places to a war zone.
That's what it looks like around here. It looks like you may be in some war-torn country where everything is just rubble. And, you know, it is important to talk about the warnings. There were several kinds of tornado warnings that go out, and one of them is the highest level of tornado warning that can go out, and it's called a tornado emergency. Those get issued in the most dire of circumstances, where a large, dangerous tornado is on the ground, has been spotted, has been proven to be there, and it is usually aimed towards an area with some populations in the path. I believe that was issued in the path of many of these communities. They're going to certainly go back and reassess everything, but I know the Weather Service has a long job here to try to just sift through their rubble here, which is to find out just how strong it was, how wide it was, what was the track like, and then they're going to go back and I'm sure assess themselves if they feel like they could do something different. But you know what, as a meteorologist, when we see this kind of devastation, it's tough because even if you did everything right, it still hurts to know that there was loss of life, and that can really affect you personally when even though you did everything right, you still feel that could I have done something better? And I know that they're thinking about that tonight, but our hearts tonight are more than anything are with the community members that may have lost loved ones in something like this, and just before Christmas time, which is a very hard thing to think about tonight.
And of course, life is the most important factor, and those who survived are coming back. A lot of them can't even get back to their homes. They're seeing what's left of their homes, where their homes used to be, on social media.
That's got to be tough. And if you come back the first time, even after you were pulled out, the initial shock of it hits you. And I just know that when they have to come back and see literally nothing left, anything that was salvageable is probably, blocks away. And they may not have anything left of their life. I know many belongings can be replaced, but some of those keepsakes, some of the family photos, and some of the things that have a lot of value to them personally may never be found. And it's like your whole life from that night got erased in a matter of seconds, just like that. And it's tough for anyone to really understand what that's like unless they've gone through it. And I know the residents here tonight, many of them could be thankful to have their lives still with them, but many of them were lost.
This new chapter of their life just beginning. Gerard, for us in Mayfield, thank you.
Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.